Welcome back to another perspicacious ass video. For the longest time I can remember, since cartoons were incepted into reality, there were always simp characters portrayed all of the time in them. I don't know what it was, but they were just like always a thing in cartoons for some reason. Even in older cartoons too. I mean, look at someone like Johnny Bravo. This man was always so down bad for some coochie. But I mean, I can't really blame him when cartoon characters back then were looking like this. Shit, I would be down bad as hell too. I think we can calculate the uprising of these simp characters to how niggas used to act back in the day though. I mean, did you see what they did back in the day for some damn coochie? Going to wars which killed millions over that shit? Rescuing girls trapped in castles booby trapped? Putting jackets over puddles just so their shoes don't get wet? Singing love songs to their windows just to get their attention? Being a respectful human being? I mean, come on, you're just asking for too much at that point. So in this video, I want to go over some of the biggest simps in cartoons nowadays and why I fucking hated them. Well, I didn't hate all of them to be honest, but it's just something about these cartoon characters and their shamelessness to get coochie that made me mad. And no, we're not talking about anime here, obviously. If that was the case, then Sanji would pretty much just solo this whole list with no difficulty. This nigga nearly died over some damn fish coochie. So first, we're gonna start with Mordecai. And how could I not? I mean, come on. There is quite literally a video with 3.6 million views on YouTube about Mordecai simping. Regular show was so goated, but Mordecai just pissed me off all the fucking time. There's no way he should have acted the way he did over some damn bird coochie. The worst thing I remember is when he killed his best friend over Margaret. If you don't remember, yes, this literally happened. He killed Rigby over Margaret in one episode, who didn't even like him at that time, by the way. In fact, she barely knew of his existence. If he didn't show up to her job every single day ordering the damn same coffee, she would forget him faster than my dad forgot me. Like a nigga, just get a Keurig. But the worst part is after the fact though. He literally met fucking Clock Jesus, who told him to admit he's jealous or he's gonna be stuck in the clock abyss forever. He wouldn't even budge until the Clock Jesus showed him a flashback of himself being a dickhead. Then he realized he was a fucking loser. I mean, Rigby was being an elf friend though. He literally asked out Margaret just to make Mordecai jealous. But nigga, that doesn't mean you kill your friend. That's some fucked up psychotic ass thinking. And don't get me started on how dirty he did CJ in the show. This is a man who broke up with his girlfriend at his friend's wedding for Margaret again, who he never even ended up being with at the end of the show. I pray no girl's coochie ever makes me act up like this. I don't even care if it's my future wife. You will not catch me lacking like this. The crazy thing is too, growing up and watching this, I never realized how fucked up of a character he actually was until now. I always thought things like this. Oh, poor Mordecai, man. He's so in love. He really deserved her, man. The length he goes for her is amazing. Like, I really need to go back to my younger self and just shake his head and like throw him around the room a little bit more. I don't know, maybe I didn't get beat enough to think different or something. Anyways, the next person I want to talk about is Candace from Phineas and Ferb. Now, the difference between Candace and Mordecai is short but simple. Mordecai was actually cool and funny at times, and Candace was just a bitch. No teen girl should be that obsessed with getting their brothers in trouble. It makes sense too, because that bitch clearly had no friends. She only had one friend, and they had to show her every time she was on screen just to prove it. And the other times where she was not being a bitch, she was just simping over Jeremy. Like, I should have knew she had problems when she was simping over a nigga named Jeremy. And unlike Mordecai, Candace was 10 times more creepier. Let me remind you of some things she did real quick. She slept next to a portrait of him every night, took pictures of him at his job without his permission, got a job across where he worked just to see him every day, and kept a counter just to track every interaction they ever had. If that's not psychotic, then I don't know what is. And this is what the limited time she gets when she's not trying to snitch on Phineas and Ferb. Because that was her whole objective really, to snitch on Phineas and Ferb, and that's what she did for hours. So with the limited time she did have not doing that, it was spent on spying on Jeremy, who she somehow ended up being with at the end of the story. Like, I don't know how. I mean, I'm not surprised considering the nigga's name is Jeremy. He was destined for failure. He's probably stupid as shit. You could also say the same thing about Isabella from the show, except she was actually cool. She and her whole group would always be sliding for Phineas and Ferb in the game. So in my book, she's pretty valid. Next, I want to talk about Timmy Turner. Trixie Tang had some type of spell over Timmy to act the way he did. This man, Timmy, literally had fairy godparents. So essentially, he could wish for any bitch he wanted to truthfully. I mean, it can't be written in the rules book that he can't wish for bitches, right? Yet he still chased over Trixie, who not only did not like him, but on multiple occasions made fun of him and his efforts for getting her. Then there was that time he was so down bad that he just wished for her to actually like him. Shortly after, he realized how much of a mistake that was though. She started obsessing over his ass so hard and being that obsessive type of girlfriend, so he ended the rule and dumped her ass. But he still ended up chasing her again after the fact. It really made no sense to me how that was even possible. In general, Timmy did live a pretty shitty life though, so I can't really blame him. His parents pretty much left him at home every day with an abusive babysitter. By the way, the Chip Skylark Vicky diss track still slaps to this day. His friends were fake as shit, and he got bullied at school every day by somebody that looked like this. I'm just surprised this man Timmy didn't turn into the villain with the powers he had. With the type of powers he had, you would see me start annihilating niggas like I'm Homelander or something. Still, his simpish behavior did piss me off though, just because of how preventable it was. He really could have wished for a goggle of bitches, but decided not to do it because of Trixie. He clearly didn't deserve the powers he got. Next, we got Morty from from Rick and Morty. This one is definitely not talked about as much as it should be, and I really don't know why. I want to name a couple of things that Morty has done just so you can know why I put him in this category. He created a serum for a girl to love him, but ended up making the whole planet love him, and he had to destroy that universe. Let Rick die in a bunch of army troops just in hopes it would lead him to dying with Jessica. Helping a random girl who shot and stole Rick's car, and much more, all for just some coochie that he never got. Jessica just had some type of hold on Morty that could travel universes, because in reality, Rick could easily hook up Morty with some girls. I mean, Morty did fuck a sex doll from an alien planet, but no, this man will not take any other girl over Jessica, another girl who barely even knows he exists. And look, I get he's going through puberty and all, but I think most kids that went through puberty didn't slay an entire universe for a single girl. Anyways, the next one we got is Greg Heffley.
Oh, but Tommy, not from a cartoon. He's actually from a show.
Greg Heffley breaks through every reality and will still be talked about here. I don't care. If I don't inform the masses about this information, it might cause like a global crisis or something. I think Greg Heffley is one of the worst cases of we didn't find him weird until we grew up. Because back when I was watching these movies as a kid, I never really realized how much of an asshole Greg Heffley really was. This is a man who broke his friend's arm, didn't apologize for it, and then saw that girls were like signing his cast. So he pretended to break his arm just to get the same type of recognition. And don't forget when he lied and said he knew how to play tennis to Holly just to get folded on the court. Same thing too when he pretended to know how to dive, then got folded in the pool. Greg Heffley is just an L at everything in life. He was so selfish and selfless, and I really don't know why I didn't understand that when actually watching this as a kid. There will never be a time where I don't want to punch Manny in the face. Have you seen what Manny looks like in the 3D show? Who the fuck approved this design? We're gonna move on, and the next one we got is Dipper Pines. Honestly, Dipper's an idiot for even thinking he had a chance with Wendy. I'm pretty sure he was like 12 years old, and she was like 15 to 16 years old. A high schooler dating a middle schooler is just and will always be completely fucked. He's definitely less simpish than the other ones though, and I feel like he's just more stuck in the friend zone, in which he never escaped. But that somehow counts and is even sadder, to be honest. I mean, he did try to get a job where she worked just to be closer with her. She also had an on and off thing already with this emo Sasuke looking dude named Robbie. Dipper definitely dodged a bullet though, because any girl that's with a guy looking like this cannot be right in their mind. Anyways, next we got Gumball from the Amazing World of Gumball. The thing is with Gumball is he's kind of at the perfect age for simping. Yo, at least he's not someone like Mordecai who's a grown-ass man doing shit like that. But hey, he still does deserve a spot up here. I think the worst case though was when he was daydreaming looking at her while she was talking about how her pet died and that she was holding a funeral for it. Or that time where he daydreamed an entire scenario that was just completely wrong. Or that time he threw an entire fireworks show for her just for her to not be impressed. Top tier simpish behavior if you ask me. Last we got Bling-Bling Boy from Johnny Test. Susan Test would not budge a single look at Bling-Bling Boy. This man would offer to buy her the entire company of Amazon if he could, and she would still say no. I have a feeling though that it may be because his name is Eugene. No one wants to be caught with a nigga named Eugene. I also don't understand why he was beefing with Johnny, because that's literally her little brother. You can't be simping for a girl and trying to murder her little brother at the same time. Also, the offers of money to Susan Test is probably the most futile shit I've ever seen in my life. She has an entire fucking lab under her house and has machines that even the military doesn't have. Yet he still tries to win her over with loads of money. The thing I do like about Bling-Bling Boy is the absolute impeccable ass drippy hole. This man is always iced the fuck out, and I think we humbly accept him into the hood. And with that being said, I'm gonna bring the conclusion to this video. So I actually think simping is okay to a certain extent, but most of the time it starts off lightly, then goes batshit crazy. It could start off with a compliment and then end up with you wiring her $5,000 a month. And there's one weird thing about all of these simp characters in these cartoons. A lot of these characters actually end up with the character that they're simping over for though. And I feel like that portrayal leads niggas to thinking that they can have the same shit. Spending thousands of dollars every day to these girls while they get their back blown out at night. You just gotta know how to level your simping and shit, okay? But out of all these characters, please do not be a Mordecai. Out of all of them, please don't be a Mordecai, I'm begging you. I could do a part 2 in the future, so comment down some people I forgot. Also, turn on notifications for this channel. I live stream here as well at nights. Or just subscribe to the second channel where I post live stream content. Either way, I don't care. Follow my TikTok and my Instagram. As always, I love you guys consensually. And until next time, I'm out.